Good evening, everybody.
I just found the keys to a city. The beats are big and the lights are pretty. So why can't we go to the busy where the dreams are in the sky? You got me high, you got me high.
And that's There You Are by Pogo. And here I am. I know, today's normally a drink of the week. The only drink we can say we're having is how I normally drink whiskey, vodka, rum, scotch, on the rocks. I prefer it that way. Get some more kick to it. But it's a little empty. A little emptier than I would have wanted it to be. I poured some on my finger. I picked up a snapping turtle that was crawling down my driveway. No joke, smaller than a silver dollar. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to introduce a new segment. Kinda. Alfred is gone and away for school, and we're still going to get him back. Don't worry, this show will press on. We've already pressed on without two people, but I just keep digging at him. I don't know why. It just gets so easy on camera to just keep digging at him. But we've already pressed on without them. Alfred will be back. Alfred has faith in this show. Alfred has as much, if not more, faith than I do. Now we're waiting on all of you. So he went away and we forgot to film a Drink of the Week segment. So the Drink of the Week is Irish whiskey on the rocks. And it's quite good. It's the Teeling whiskey we had out when we were making whiskey sours with. Anyway, so our new segment is going to be Random Thoughts. And it's going to be a filler segment, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be for when we forget to do something or when we're unable to do something. If we forget to sneak something into the show, we forget to film something when someone was supposed to be here. But education is important. I am starting to go get my master's plumber's license tomorrow. It is, what is it? It's Tuesday right now. It's Tuesday at about 6:43. I'm going to try to get this episode up before I go to bed tonight, which is going to be fun, you know. I still got to eat dinner, still got to shower. It's been a long day. Probably might try to get some personal time in, you know. Anyway, so this is going to be Random Thoughts. Today it's going to be Random Thoughts with Forrest. So I kind of wanted to sneak this into the episode, and we ran with our longest episode ever, so I was not able to. But I wanted to talk about a fun, manly activity, and that is tractor pulling. And we'll have a few clips towards the end and show the, what was it now? I guess it would have been 2 weeks-ish ago. I was over at the county fair, and every year I help out and I'm a part. I work the track with a bunch of my friends, and it's a group that I've known since I was 13, 14, somewhere around there. So yeah, I've grown up with most of these people, and it's a good group. They're all probably my only subscribers, but you know, they're all good people, and that brings into the community. Yes, it is not a solely male sport. It is male dominated, but as typically most power sports are, it's but it is. There are some women who participate, even as in the county polls. It's kind of a smaller poll comparatively. It still ran, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night. It used to run when I was younger, because of how they used to schedule it. It used to run till about 1, 2 in the morning. that was a good time. But we've always had fun. The group is, if you go to more than one pull in the state, you start to see the same people again, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It is a very expensive sport, and it's like a race car. We do truck and tractor pulls on the same night, but any power sport, you just start putting more and more money into everything, and you wind up costing yourself 5, 10, 15 grand on a tractor just to make it go further. So the whole purpose of the pulls is to you hook a chain between a sled and the tractor, and you figure out what gear works good for you. What obviously you want it as full throttle, unless there's RPM restrictions. But now we're getting into technical stuff. So your whole purpose is to pull a sled as far as further than anyone else can. And it's not just like, oh, here's a piece of steel, put 500 pounds on it and pull it. It's actually a pretty intricate device. It's got let's say a 9 by 9 foot steel plate, and then it's set up so that a semi truck can come by, pick it up, and drive off. So it's got a tandem rear, and one of those sets of wheels is always on the ground. So as it notices it's pulling further, it moves another plate on a track that's weighted down with various weights. Depends on what class you're in. Depends if they know you're pulling a high-powered class. So as that weight goes forward on your steel plate, it increases the weight that the tractor's pulling. So it gets heavier and heavier, and if you're getting into the really big stuff, they throw spikes into the mix that add more friction and slow the thing down. But it winds up being a lot of fun. It's even hooking. I didn't pull this year. I'm going to pull next year if I don't get into my other project, which we have 2 project options right now, and one is tractor pulls and the other is the gentleman's race, the race of gentlemen. Yeah. And that's down in Wildwood, New Jersey, and basically you take a bunch of cars that are built before 1940, we'll say, it's somewhere right around there. The year that GM made the small block Chevy is the last engine year you can use, because they want you to use flatheads. And so basically you're doing a bunch of drag races on the beach, and it seems like a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun to work on, so we'll do that. Or we are going to, I have a tractor set up for tractor pulling. It needs a little bit more help. I have another one that's supposed to get built and be put in. So let's take a look at some of the videos and see, so I can show you and not just explain to you what happens.
Listen to this. Reaching out to hurting people. This is what you do. Something more than it was. Listen to this right here. I heard then it was like the Lord spoke that to me. Oh, there it is. Get up right now. There it is again.
So that was some of what we did, and those were early in the evening when my phone wasn't dying and I had just gotten there. But it's fun. And I like being on the track helping. I do stuff with the fire department that day. I do stuff with that. With the pulls, even when I'm not pulling, I help on the track, do what I can. Who knows? Maybe this year, next year, they'll let me run some of the equipment for grading. The person in charge of it's a little particular about how the track's graded and compacted, and so that is tractor pulling. It's fun. It's pretty manly sport, power sport. It's very, there's a lot of wrench turning that happens before and after those things are hooked to the sled. So every year you learn a little more. Every year's a little different. Some years it works out good. Some years it doesn't. But with that said, I think I mentioned this in the full episode, and I'm going to mention it now, and we'll do some more random thoughts with Forrest later on. But I am going down to a firefighter convention this weekend, and this weekend is usually our filming weekend. But I'm not going to be here. Alfred's not going to be here, so it'd be pretty difficult to film an episode. So we will be skipping a week, and you will not get we will be a week later on our full episode. You'll get a little bit less content in the next coming 2 weeks. But we're still here. We're not falling off. And if you could, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking about either letting my hair grow long or cutting it back to where I normally keep it. We're coming up on cool weather, so I'm outside all the time, so normally I keep my hair short so I don't get too hot, but I don't have to worry about that right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe. Please click the notification bell if you want to be notified when we post videos, because they don't do that on subscriptions anymore. Or they do, and it's kind of random, but let me know what I should do with my hair. Subscribe, click the notification bell, and hopefully I'll get this episode. I know that was a little preemptive. Hopefully I'll get this episode uploaded tonight. It is now 6:52, so this will be roughly 10 minutes of footage. I'm going to try to edit this and post it as quick as I can, so have a good evening.